morning, everyone. I think most of us are probably familiar with this parable of the sower. Right? It appears in all three of the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And in all three, Jesus explains the parable for us. And so, since Jesus has explained it, I will not try to add my own explanation this morning. But it's really one of my favorite parables. And I'm always I'm interested in this sower, the carelessness of the sower. Right? I mean, it seems to me that if you're sowing seed on rocky ground and paths and in the thorns, you're not really that concerned with whether it can take root and bear fruit. I mean, I think I would sow a lot more targeted way, right? I would choose the good soil only. Let's use another example. Say I want a glass of water, right? I pour the water in the glass and I drink it. But if this sower wants a glass of water, he'd put the glass on the counter and splash water all over the kitchen, right? Some water goes on the floor, some on the counter, some in the sink, and some gets in the glass. And I think my way is better. Or is it? Let's take another example. Love. Right? When I think of love, the first people who come to mind are my family. Right? My wife, my sons, my siblings, my nieces and nephews. And it's easy for me to sow the seeds of love in that rich soil that is family. And they love me in return. But as a Christian, I am called to love all people, not just family and friends. I'm called to love people I don't know, people with whom I disagree, people that I don't particularly like. The rocky soil, and the path, and the thorns. And they're not always easy to love, and they don't always love in return. But the thing about sowing seeds of love among the rocky soil and the path and the thorns is that over time, it can improve the soil. And it can improve the soil to the point where it becomes rich soil. And that's how God loves. So God loves each of us beyond measure. But if I'm honest with myself, I have to admit that sometimes I don't present the rich soil to God for him to sow. Sometimes I'm more like the rocky ground or the path or the thorns. And I suspect that the same may be true for some of you. But God does not withhold his love. God does not wait for the soil to improve. No, he sows his seeds of love in all of us all the time, generously, almost carelessly, like the sower in the parable. And because of his generous sowing, we have a chance for our soil to become rich so that we can bear fruit 30, 60, and 100-fold. So this morning, as we gather to share this most sacred meal, let's pause for a moment and thank the Lord for his generosity, for his carelessness in sowing the seeds of love in our lives. And may we strive to present rich soil to him so that those seeds can bear fruit and yield the fruit of God's love in our lives, so that we in turn can go and sow those seeds of love in others as generously and as carelessly as God does for us.